Welcome to FONTÉFIT The Podcast. It's your host, FONTÉFIT, and I'm here to broadcast. Today, I'm excited to get into the topic of why words are just as impactful as sticks and stones. Okay, but before I get into that video, I'm going to need you to hit that thumbs up button. And I'm also going to need you to subscribe if you're not already, and hit the bell button so that you can also be notified of when I do post in the future. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into today's topic, shall we? Can you be quiet? Have you guys ever heard sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt you? Yeah, I have too. But that is a lie. Okay, that is a lie, and I want to share with you guys why that is a lie and why using positive words are going to be more beneficial to your life instead of using words that are negative and pessimistic. And I just kind of want to share also why words can affect you physically, and that's how powerful they are and can be. So let's kind of open up that can of worms for a quick moment. I first want to talk about what words and emotions are, because some people don't really look at definitions, and definitions are really vital and important when you're really trying to not only understand a word but understand the word, you know what I mean? So when we look at the power of words and emotion, we have to dissect words and emotions. So starting with the emotions, and if you guys want to know what I'm referencing right now, I am looking at my blog post. Link will be in the description if you want to read along. So emotions definition for me is energy and motion. Emotion. And I'm pretty sure some of you guys, especially if you're in the spiritual community, have heard that definition being used for emotion. Now, Google Webster's definition for emotions is a conscious mental reaction, such as anger or fear, subjectively experienced as strong feeling, usually directed toward a specific object and typically accompanied by psychological and behavioral changes in the body. Now that is what I bolded on my page, and I want to say it again just in case that kind of came and went through your ears, because it kind of came and went out of my mouth. I didn't even understand that. I got to read it again. So hear it with me, please. Strong feeling, usually directed toward a specific object and typically accompanied, that means with, grouped together by physiological, accompanied by physiological and behavioral changes in the body. So that right there, Google's definition is just explaining already that emotions are a feeling directed toward a specific thing. It could be anything, and it also is accompanied by a behavior change in the body. So it affects the body emotion, okay? Energy and motion. Now let's look at what words are. Google's definition for words is an expression, an utterance. And what I believe words are really are weapons used to do either good or to do either bad. It's the person's decision. Okay, words are transmitters of energy that can heal or destroy. That's why in the Bible it says life and death is in the power of the tongue. The tongue. So make sure that whatever energy, emotion that you choose to direct toward any object with your words, that is going to promote life into that thing. and not degrade it or destroy it. Okay? And I know you're probably wondering, why are you telling me this? It's going to make sense. It's all going to come together, and I just need you right now to help me put the ingredients in a bowl and just digest it as we go. Okay? So now that we've kind of gotten over a brief understanding of what words are, what emotions are, I want to show you how and why that's important and how that affects your body. All right, so now that we've learned what words are and what they mean, and also what emotion is and what that means, when you use those things together, and let's use this for an example. If I use hatred, if I tell somebody I hate you, that person has now, in a sense, absorbed that energy that was directed toward them. And that energy is now being expressed in their nervous system, in their fascia, essentially. They are feeling the negative energy that you directed towards them. Now, this person has the option to release that energy and let it pass through, or they can absorb it, pin it up, and some people, depending on who is saying the hurtful thing to the person, if it's a parent and a child, some children just absorb that feeling and they don't let it out, because sometimes the parents like, I'm gonna give you a reason to be mad. So that the child absorbs that energy, and they restrict themselves from expressing that or releasing that energy, But older people, if like an older person said that to an older person, and somehow that, made a fight transpire, that's them releasing that energy, essentially. And I'm not saying that's a healthy way out, but I'm just saying that's an example of what that energy in that environment does, and how energy doesn't die. It's only transferred. You can transfer it in a positive way, or you can transfer it in a negative way. Either way, it's gonna get transferred. So I say all this to say, sticks and stones can break your bones. Words can too, because eventually, if you don't let the energy pass through your body, if you don't release the energy, the negative energy, what's going to happen is your body is going to store that energy in your fascia, okay? And once the energy is stored in your fascia and it can't get out because you haven't released it, it's going to cause restriction in your physique. Like a lot of people who are angry a lot, their respiratory system is restricted because of their short breaths that you do. It's a pattern that you have when you are angry. You know what I mean? So basically, your actions affect your behavior. Your behavior will affect the way you carry yourself. If you're angry, we know what the angry posture looks like. If you're sad, we know what a sad posture looks like. Okay, so that energy is already affecting how you carry yourself. So it's affecting you physically already. So when you still haven't released that anger from childhood trauma, when you still haven't released that sadness from a breakup, you carry that with you in some way or another. And some of us are stuck in these positions. That's why you see a lot of people, they're hunched over. Yeah, that has to do with computer stuff like that, new technology, modern day living, stuff like that. But it also has to do with the way they intentionally hold their posture due to how they feel about themselves. That's why a confident person has their own posture, and that's shoulders back, head straight. You have to look at things in a deeper level sometimes than on the surface to really understand the whole meaning of a thing. And basically, to kind of summarize what I was saying, the imprint of trauma and injuries in our fascia impact our body's everyday movement, creating restrictive patterns to avoid the original pain. So now that you have restrictive movement, that can cause imbalances, and soon enough, fascial adhesions. And fascial adhesions are the things that you don't want to get, because fascial adhesions are basically blocking blood flow. You know what I mean? It's doing a lot of damage than good. Okay, and fascial adhesions can ultimately, if you don't release them, can ultimately affect your skeletal alignment. And once your skeletal alignment is screwed up, that can affect your bones, just like a stick would, or a stone if somebody threw it at you. So that's why sticks and stones can break your bones, and words can too, because of what I just said. But I just say all in all, I just say that to say all in all, be more mindful of the energy that you create, that you hone, and also be more mindful of the energy that you permeate out of your force field, because people are absorbing that. People are absorbing that energy. You know what I mean? So just like that commercial, keep it on. That commercial's like, I don't know. I'll show you guys an example what I'm saying.
See you around? Yeah. Character. Pass it on.
But just like that, keep the positive energy going. You know what I mean? And also address the emotional baggage that you have lingering in your posture. You know what I mean? Some of you guys who want to fix your posture, you just think it's just, let me just sit up straight. No, some of that is, let me visit that childhood trauma in 2004. Because something happened where I felt like I needed to protect myself. So I stay in this position to build armor against whatever the attack, the abuse, the trauma, whatever, I don't know. But visit those places again so that you can become your greatest version, your true version, your best version. And only then will you be able to really meet yourself and know yourself. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode. I hope that this video was beneficial to you. I hope I was able to explain my perspective well. I do have a hard time putting into words exactly what I mean in regards to fashion, how I relate that to everything. But in my head, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Okay? Just bear with me as I, used better words and better systems, I guess, to illustrate and explain my point. But I hope you did understand a little bit of it. If you didn't, I do have it in written form. If you want to read about it, it is linked in the description, among other links like my Instagram and other stuff. So go ahead and check out that description. Also, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, thumbs up this video, and turn your post notifications on so that you'll be alarmed of when I do post in the future. Okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you next week for tomorrow's episodes. I hope to see you next week for next week's episode.